Yo. Welcome in, man. What's today? Today is 12th of October, man. We're going to jump right into it for the NBA previews. We continue them today. If you're new or if you haven't checked out already, check out the Atlantic Division team previews that we did. It's under the live, not the live tab, under the video tab if you go to my YouTube channel. So check that one out. Went over those teams. And today we move forward with another team preview. Today we are talking the Central. So we'll go over Bulls, we'll go over Cavs, we'll go over Detroit, Pistons, the Pacers, and the Bucks on tab for today. So let's jump right into it, man. No further ado, hit the like button for me if you can, especially if you've been someone that's rocked with me throughout the team previews over the last few years. A lot of great insight, man. I did my homework so you guys don't have to. All right, let's jump into it. So first up, we'll start with Jackson, giving you guys a play every single division preview from Jackson as well. You got to go back and check out the one that Jackson liked in the last preview. But Jackson is the AI Sports betting tool. You guys can use the link in the description if you guys are interested in checking it out. But let's talk. So today I asked Jackson I said the simple prompt was any other top future bets to make right now based on current markets. This is not in this division. This is the division that'll be coming up in the next video. But the Atlanta Hawks regular season win total over 46.5 is what Jackson likes. It says that the rationale says that there's significant roster upgrades, internal growth from a young core, and a wide open Eastern Conference. So let's talk about it. So 46.5. Jackson says that their offense should take a big leap. The Atlanta Hawks finished 18th in adjusted offensive rating last season, but a major leap is expected when the core of Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu shed a floor. The team scored an elite 121.1 points per 100 possessions. Jalen Johnson's progress, he's healthy and poised for a breakout, coming off a campaign where he averaged 18.9 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. His continued development as a dynamic slasher and playmaker is central to the team's success. Offensive haul. The front office delivered key additions that perfectly fit into Coach Quinn Snyder's system. Kristaps Porzingis provides Trae Young with a true pick and roll partner. I absolutely agree with that. Averaging 19.5 points, shooting 41.2% from three last season. His gravity will open up driving lanes for everyone else. Nickeil Alexander-Walker adds secondary ball handling and reliable three-point shooting, 38.1% last season. And Luke Kennard, one of the league's purest shooters, hitting at least 39.4% from the three-point line every year of his career. Then there's synergy. Last thing, system synergy. So Coach Quinn Snyder has a roster full of quick decision makers, spacing, and versatility. This should push Atlanta's offense towards the top 5 in the league, especially since they already played at the league's third fastest pace last season. In a weakened Eastern Conference, a top-tier offense, and a top 15 defense, which is achievable with Porzingis as a rim protector, should easily translate to 47-plus wins. I love that play. I think if Porzingis can stay healthy, the Atlanta Hawks can make a lot of noise, man. A lot of noise. They typically do really, really good as dogs. We'll see how well they can be. And I think a lot of it will be based on Porzingis' health. But I like the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Hawks should make some noise in the Eastern Conference. And the Eastern Conference that I agree is kind of not completely wide open, but it's only about 3 or 4 teams, in my opinion, that really got a shot. So that's Jackson. Link is in the description if you guys want to check it out. Let's jump into the teams, man. First off, we'll start with the Chicago Bulls. All the numbers on the screen you guys can see are updated. This team was kind of mediocre last season, 19th in offensive rating, 18th in defensive rating, 20th in net rating, but played super fast, super high totals for the Chicago Bulls last season. I was looking into the Bulls last season, and after the All-Star break, I didn't write this down, but I want to say they averaged 121.1 points per game last season after the All-Star break. Absolutely insane. They finished 17-11 straight up after the break, 20-8 against the spread, 72%. This was a Bulls team that got busy last season, not for the full season, but overall. But after the All-Star break, they did. They finished 39-43 straight up, which was good for 10th in the East. They lost in the play-in tournament for the third straight time. Finished 15-5 in the last 20 games, 20-8 against the spread in the last 28 games. I just told you guys about that. And like I said, averaging north of 121 points. They were 9-0 in games where Kobe White scored 30 plus points or more, which, his scoring kind of picked up in the second half as well. So we look at the additions. They re-signed Giddey, gave him the bag. Josh Giddey got paid. Trey Jones is now there. Javon Carter. They added Isaac Okoro, comes over from Cleveland. So not a lot of offensive moves. This is going to be like more relying on some development. Coach Billy Donovan was elected into Hall of Fame, to the coaching Hall of Fame, I think, or the Hall of Fame, I think, as well, for his coaching. He had some time, of course, with OKC and Florida before he got into into the NBA. I think they're just going to try to build. I don't think that this team is going to do anything super spectacular, but let's keep talking. They did lose Lonzo. Lonzo went to Cleveland. Lonzo Ball is not on the team anymore. But like I said, I think the Bulls, they'll lean into the young core. Re-signing Josh Giddey, I think, based on the numbers that he put up towards the end of the season, and just kind of continue to build around him. They still got Ayo Dosunmu. You still got Vucevic, who's a little bit more of a veteran now. He can't guard anybody, but he's an excellent rebounder. The one player I really like for the Bulls, and it's kind of stood out to me, I got a chance to watch the Bulls play the Cavs in preseason. Buzele is going to be a hooper, I think. He's like a 7'5" wingspan, can play the 3, can play the 4, jump out the gym. If he can learn how to move without the basketball, and also not even just move without the basketball, but actually play make, Buzelis is going to be really, really good, man. This team will need to be consistent. I don't think that they'll be good on defense, but I do think that it'll be hard to stop them from scoring the basketball. I think they're going to play the same exact way they played last season as well. Pushing pace, exploiting transition, using Giddey and Kobe White's transition playmaking, transition/playmaking. But yeah, I do like Buzelis. I like him a lot. He described his office, listening to the media day, quotes and stuff. He described deliberate offseason approach and progress in specific areas like shooting off the ball, screening, ball handling. And he had a quote, like a standout quote. He said, quote, "I always think of it like this. If somebody has done it, I can do it. And if nobody has done it, I'm going to be the first to do it." So, I mean, that lets you know how confident he feels about his offseason. Now, the Bulls come into this season 11th with the 11th most difficult strength of schedule. Projected win total is only like 31.5, though. 31.5, 32.5. You can get 32.5 on DraftKings at plus 110 right now. So you can get it for plus money. Of course, it's always difficult to lock your money up for, 7, 8, 9 months, the course to the whole NBA season. But I like the Bulls. If I'm betting on the Bulls, I'm betting it over here. They are plus 15,000 to win the division. I don't think they're going to do that. But I like their win total over 32.5, though. You just need them to stay healthy. I think their offense will carry them a lot on most nights. And I think that they have enough offense to win games and challenge some of these teams. I will be looking to bet the Bulls against the spread when they're getting big numbers this season as well. We'll see if Josh Giddey, getting his money, what kind of, effect that has on him. But if Josh Giddey comes to hoop, man, which he can, hoop, absolutely. We've seen it. I do think that this team is primed to at least win 33 games in the Eastern Conference. Again, that's going to be wide open a little bit. I think it'll be a lot of parity in the Eastern Conference this season. Still got Kobe White. I think Ayo Dosunmu starting the season on the injured reserve. But I like the Bulls, man. I do like the Bulls. Over 31.5, over 32.5 for their season win total. Super young teams. I'm not really worried about the back-to-backs that they do have. It's my thought process on the Bulls, man. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the Bulls in the comments. And let's push to number 2 team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, 64-18 straight up last season. They finished first in the East, lost in the conference finals. You can see that their ATS number 48-33-1 against the spread last season. This team was an absolute money maker last season. They scored. You can see that their offensive rating was first in the NBA as well. They scored the 8th most points in NBA history. I think they were a point shy of 1,000 points last season. 3 All-Stars. Evan Mobley first time. He won Defensive Player of the Year. Kenny Atkinson won Coach of the Year. All that to lose in the second round to the Indiana Pacers. After sweeping the Miami Heat in the first round, this team lost the series 4-1. Heartbreaking loss for them. So over the offseason, they re-signed Sam Merrill, added Lonzo Ball. Thomas Bryant came over from Indiana, and Larry Nance Jr. came over from Atlanta. They lost Javonte Green, Ty Jerome. He got a big, wanted too much money, so he ended up in Memphis. And then Isaac Okoro also left as well. Went to Chicago in that deal for Lonzo. So at the beginning of the season, Garland is recovering from toe surgery. Max Strus is expected to miss at least the first month after his foot surgery as well. But I mean, this is the second year for Coach Kenny Atkinson being there. They talked a lot about during the media day continuity and defensive reinforcements. They do, again, have one of the most balanced offensive attacks that you'll find in the NBA, probably number one. But health probably is their biggest concern. Garland, Mobley, Hunter, all missed time last season in the semifinals when they lost to the Indiana Fever. So, one thing that you got to respect about the Cleveland Cavaliers, they came into the media day with the expectations like, it's boom or bust time. It's time to go home. Matter of fact, Donovan Mitchell, he was pretty blunt about it. He said, quote, "It's just a point now where it's time to get to it. Like, we have to win. We have to win right now. This team wants the championship or nothing at all." So can Cleveland win? I don't know, man. I do feel like they'll be really, really good. They projected to have the most wins in the NBA in the Eastern Conference this season. I think the New York Knicks is second. They do have the fourth easiest strength of schedule as well. Only 6 games this season with the rest disadvantage, which is tied for a league low with the Chicago Bulls and the Milwaukee Bucks. So we'll see, man. I think if the Cleveland Cavaliers wanted to, they could steamroll the Eastern Conference and probably most of the Western Conference as well this season and win as many games as they did last season. I do think that. The projected win total is 56.5, though. Minus 105 on DraftKings, minus 350 to win the division on FanDuel. So, of course, they're the favorite. DeAndre Hunter, I've been hearing a lot about him from Coach Kenny Atkinson. He is the favorite to win the Sixth Man of the Year award. Kenny Atkinson said he had the best offseason of any player on the team. They're plus 850 right now to win the championship on DraftKings, which is the third shortest odds. The season, though, this is my thing with the Cavs. The season is a grind. And I have a tough time with teams that have championship aspirations taking the regular season too serious when they've overachieved the year before during the regular season, but didn't play as well in the postseason. I think that they could wait to peak rather than, going on a 20-game win streak 2 or 3 months into the regular season. So that's kind of what scares me a little bit, man. We saw Cleveland. If you remember Cleveland last season, they were absolutely steamrolling everybody. And then right before the playoffs, it's kind of like the NFL almost. Right before the playoffs, maybe 3-4 weeks before, they kind of took their foot off the gas and they started losing games that they were supposed to win. And the next thing you know, they never got their steam back. I mean, yeah, they got it back against Miami, but Miami was coming off 2 playoff, play-in tournament wins that they needed to even get there in the first place. And then they get mollywopped by the Indiana Pacers. So we'll see, man. I think Cleveland can win 57 games. Do I want to bet it? No, because there's too many things that could go wrong. But I am looking for Evan Mobley to take a leap this season. I think that he is going to continue to be really, really good for this team. They've talked about him playmaking a little bit more. Defensively, he's supposed to be even better after winning the Defensive Player of the Year. He shot a career high from 3-point line last season. And Donovan Mitchell seems hungry. So we'll see what happens when Garland and Strus come back. I think Cleveland will be a top team in the East. I just worry about them putting too many eggs in the basket as far as the regular season go. I want to see Cleveland actually make a run in the postseason. Second round, getting to the second round and losing, is not going to cut it for expectations for the Cleveland Cavaliers from myself. So that's my thought process on the Cavs. I'm not betting anything with the Cavs to start the season, but that is my thought process. And of course, with Kenny Atkinson, they're going to shoot a ton of threes and get out and run, try to play like Golden State style basketball, which Kenny Atkinson was on that coaching staff with Steve Kerr a couple years ago before coming over. All right, next we move on to Detroit basketball. So we got the Pistons. The Pistons are coming off a 44-38 season last year. They finished 6th in the Eastern Conference, lost in the first round to the New York Knicks, and barely lost for people who remember that. It was a tough way to lose, but the Detroit Pistons, even through their media day, talked about, just kind of taking the steps, feeling really, really hungry still. They talked a lot about wanting to continue to be the hunted. Be the hunter instead of the hunted. Last season, remember, this team went from 14 wins 2 years ago to 47 to 44 wins just last year. So they tripled their win total. You don't really see that happen too often. And not only did they just make the playoffs, I mean, They were a 6th seed in the playoffs. They didn't even go to the play-in, and this was the worst team in the WNBA. Remember 2 years ago they had lost the most games in the NBA consecutively, and then of course Kay was hurt for that, but Kay came back last season and played absolutely tremendous basketball last season. And it's crazy because Kay's still only 23 years old, still looking to take that major leap. He's kind of proven himself because it wasn't even regular season basketball last year. It was more so, he played well in the regular season, but he stepped his game up even more in the playoffs. This team went out. They got Javonte Green, which I'm not a big proponent of Javonte Green, but I like the addition of Karis LeVert, somebody that can create his own shot and kind of run up like a little bit of backup point guard and kind of get other people involved as well, especially when you lose Dennis Schroeder, who they signed like halfway through the season last year. Also add a 3-point shooter in Duncan Robinson to fill the void for Tim Hardaway Jr., who left, and Simone Fontecchio is also gone as well. So they lose 3, add 3. I don't think that moves the needle too much. You still got Jalen Duren. You also get Jaden Ivey back. Jaden Ivey back, I think, is gonna be good, man. Like I said, I like Karis LeVert, another ball handler, shot creator. Duncan Robinson, Jaden Ivey should be healthy to start the season. That's what the reports came out of media day. Last season before the injury, dude was hooping. He averaged 17.5 points, shot 31% from 3 in 30 games. And you got to think, right, with Boston having an injured Jason Tatum and the trades that they made, they're going to take a step back. And then the Pacers, they lose Tyrese Halliburton. Miles Turner is gone now as well. He's in Milwaukee. Does Detroit take a step up to secure like home court advantage in the playoffs? They finished 6th last year, had to go to New York to play. Can they like take that step up and finish top 4 in the East? I think that's like the ceiling for the Detroit Pistons. If Detroit is as good as people think that they will be, they could potentially secure a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. And that'd be crazy to think a 14-win team, top 4 with home court advantage just 2 years removed. I'm a big believer in JB Bickerstaff. He talked about wanting to reduce his techs. I think he had more techs than any coach in the NBA last season. So I like the Detroit Pistons, man. They have the 7th easiest strength of schedule, 13 games with the rest advantage, 12 without. Projected win total sitting at 45.5 minus 125 on DraftKings, which means that there's some 46.5s out there as well. They're plus 700 to win the division, which is the second shortest odds behind the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't think that they'll win the division. Excuse me. I don't think they'll win the division unless Cleveland has some kind of catastrophic injury or maybe even 2. But Detroit should be good this season, and the books have them priced that way. This is not, books don't have them priced at 21.5 wins, 24.5 wins anymore. Detroit has the expectations this season, and I think they'll embrace it. I do think they got a team full of dogs, and I think they'll be hungry to, continue to play well this season like they did last year. So I think a lot of teams will come into the season, put a little respect on the name. I'm not betting this season win total over, but if I had to, I think that they can get the 46 wins. I really, really do, as long as they can stay healthy, especially Cade. If Cade can stay healthy, he's the head to this snake, in my opinion. And Jalen Duren being able to go down there and control the boards, be a contributing factor on the offensive end. I didn't even mention Thompson twin. His team is stacked, man. Detroit is loaded. So, all right, let's keep pushing. Got to get through 2 more teams. We got the Indiana Pacers up next. Pacers went on a remarkable run last season. It's crazy to think that the Pacers went 50-32 last season. They finished 4th in the East, lost in the NBA Finals in Game 7 when Tyrese Halliburton, of course, went down with the season-ending injury. He's not expected to play this season. So crazy to think, because the Pacers, I remember when people had put the Pacers on the top shelf and said that they weren't betting on the Pacers because they couldn't beat the Brooklyn Nets. People probably remember that, like that probably was like December. This is when Halliburton was trying to get himself back in the rhythm. You can see the numbers: 10 offensively, 12 defensively, 12 in net rating, 7th in pace, and they couldn't cover a spread to save their lives. 36-46 against the number. They go out, they add Jay Huff because they lose Miles Turner, somebody that's going to be able to stretch the floor. Probably, I would say, about just as good as Miles Turner. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to defend as good as Miles Turner. And they also lost Thomas Bryant as well. Nembhard and TJ McConnell is going to have to fill the shoes for Tyrese Halliburton. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Holly is not expected to play this season, like I mentioned. Then you got to figure out how you're going to fill the void for Miles Turner as well. You bought in Jay Huff from Memphis. You still got Isaiah Jackson. You renewed the contract for James Wiseman. He's going to have to eventually step up. James Wiseman if he ever going to have time to prove himself, it's going to be this season, in my opinion. Pascal Siakam and Benedict Mathurin also going to have to step up. Siakam is a NBA champion. Benedict Mathurin, somebody that continues to make leaps every season as well. There's still a lot of depth. You still got TJ McConnell. You still got championship level coach and Rick Carlisle. He's won a championship before in his days in Dallas. So the Pacers are going to be good, in my opinion. I think their win total is maybe a tad bit too low. It's 37.5. Tyrese Halliburton had, solidified himself as one of the most clutch players in the NBA. And, probably an MVP candidate as well. Tyrese Halliburton, especially for how he started the season. But 37.5 feels a little low. I'm not going to bet the over, but I wouldn't bet the under on the Pacers. I think them as dogs this season, they'll be competitive in a lot of games. And I like their leadership with the coach of Rick Carlisle. And then you got a champion out there, too, with Pascal Siakam being able to lead this team. TJ McConnell, somebody that doesn't take a playoff either. Benedict Mathurin looking to take leaps, and he probably will this season, given the increased offensive opportunity he'll have without Tyrese Halliburton being there. So plus 5,500 to win the division. I don't think I get that crazy, but that's my thoughts on the Indiana Pacers, man. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the Pacers in the comment section below. And then last but not least, the Milwaukee Bucks finished 48-34 last season. They were 5th in the East, lost in the first round to the Indiana Pacers. We remember Damian Lillard going down. They have not been back to the NBA Finals since they won it in 2021. They did win the Emirates World Cup, Emirates NBA Cup last season. You got a older Giannis. And Giannis is crazy to think Giannis is entering his 13th year in the NBA. The Bucks went out. They re-signed KPJ. They re-signed Bobby Portis, Torian Prince. They re-signed Jericho Sims and Gary Trent Jr. So they like gonna have more of the same of what they had last season. Thanasis, who's Giannis's brother, is back on the team. Cole Anthony came over from Orlando. Gary Harris came over from Orlando, and then you got Miles Turner to supplement elderly Brook Lopez, who I think Brook Lopez being on the team is absolutely gonna help. He had glimpses of old Brook Lopez, but Brook Lopez just wasn't it, man. They ended up waiving Dame so they could make room for Miles Turner, of course. They lost Pat Connaughton as well. And then Micic as well. They end up losing Micic as well. I think he's playing overseas this season. So bringing in Turner, I think, should help a lot. Just his rim protection in general. He finished 3rd in the league in blocks last season at 2 per game. His ability to be able to stretch the floor, knocking down almost 2.5 threes per game last season, shooting a career best, almost 40% from the field last season from three-point line as well. The problem is, do they have enough playmakers to be able to get them the ball? We know the Bucks run a very isocentric offense, trying to get the ball to Giannis and everybody else get out the way, go stand in the corner, and if they draw 2, Giannis will be able to find them. We'll see if that can work or not. Doc Rivers mentioned in the media day that they want to play fast. Speed, spacing, and evolving identity. Not just, playing 1-on-5 in the half court, letting Giannis go ISO ball. He also said that they, are committed to pushing the pace more. They want to get out. They want to take the next step and to be able to play with a lot more speed. Last season, it was hard for them to win when they were playing slow. So expect the Bucks to push pace. It could be good for some overs. We'll see. We'll see what their offense looks like. Not too big on the Bucks this season, if I'm being honest. They do have the 5th easiest strength of schedule, 10 days with the rest advantage, 6 games without it. Win total is only listed at 42.5. Everything in the offseason, of course, has been, you guys probably have heard the noise as well. Giannis potential last season for Milwaukee. And I do kind of think that ship is kind of ran its course. Ship is kind of sailed for the Milwaukee Bucks to be able to win a championship, which we know is what Giannis is looking for. So I'm not big on the Bucks. I think the win total is about right. I can see them winning 42, 43 games, 12 plus 1,200 for them to win the division. I don't think that they have a chance to win the division, barring any, kind of significant trade. And I don't think they got the cap to be able to make a trade that would solidify them to be able to win the division either. So 42.5 feels right. Again, like I said, Pacers actually got the lowest win total in this division at 37.5. That feels a little too low. And then 45.5 for Detroit, 56.5 for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I'm sorry, the Chicago Bulls got the lowest at 31.5. And I like the over for them. I do think Chicago can get busy this season. So those are my thoughts, man. Check the resources out. As always, link is in the description for all the things that I use to handicap NBA. It's going to be a hell of a season, man. I'm excited for it. Show some love. Hit the like button for me if you can. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Turn the notification bell on. And, let me know what you guys are betting if you're betting anything from the Central Division. I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. I'm out.